It's, well, rise and shine with me, your buddy with Wild Blossom Beacon Coaching, Cassandra Renee. I've already had my full meditation, my full journaling, my almost my full workout. When we're done, I got to take the dogs for a WALK. And I have had my breakfast. I've got my green juice going on right now, which I just spilled a little bit. That's okay because I'm wearing a green shirt, so that works out. And I'm in a really good place today. I'm in a really good mood. And that's good for you, right? Anytime anyone is in a good mood, it's good for everybody. Even if you're the smug person that comes into work or comes down the stairs and is just like, why are you so happy? Especially if you're not a morning person. Morning people, or just people in good moods in general, are good to have around. As much as it might gripe you to admit it, it's a good thing, and it is a mood booster. Even if you are so hell-bent on wanting to not be happy, we make you happy. And to add to another good thing, it's Transformational Tuesday. I make these, and then I just have them up for like a flash of a second. You barely see them. I don't really know what I'm doing with them. I might do something with them. And my printer is kind of meh. So today's theme is asking yourself, who do you need to become to achieve the results? Haven't had the caffeine yet. Who do you need to become to achieve the results you desire? Good morning, Steve. So what's that about? Who do you need to become to achieve the results you desire? Well, I stand by the whole, who you are right now is only who you've become. It's not who you really are. It's just who you've become so far. And as humans, we change and we develop, but we mostly change and develop up until the age of 7, where we've basically put on all of our armor and decided, I am this human. I am running towards something, or I'm running away from something, and this is who I am. This is how I will live my life. And Facebook Live producer changed again, and my screen is smaller, and I don't like it. Well, and now I have an even smaller choice. So, okay then. I guess that was vanity. Anywho, tell me good morning. Tell me who you are and where you're from. I'm just remembering to pull up on my phone so I can see all you beautiful people, because the laptop version certainly isn't as good as the old was. So I'm going to do that. And who was on last night to see Sammy Obeid? Did anybody catch him last night? That was pretty cool. He's a funny guy. That was pretty neat. So I am actually, I'd love to share with you why I'm in such a good mood. And it's funny because I did not wake up in a good mood. I actually woke up pretty sad. I had a bad dream, and it was one of those dreams where it's like, yeah, it was a dream about Nex, and I'm totally over him and actually respect him big time. And it's all good. It's all love. But it was a dream where, ironically, I'm wearing a roller derby shirt, and I don't know, like I was, I didn't pick this out because I was dreaming about roller derby, but I was at like this roller derby reunion or something. And I was, for those of you who don't know, I used to play roller derby semi-professionally, and the Queen City Roller Girls was the league that I played for back in Buffalo, New York. Buffalo's the Queen City. And we were the one of the original 3 teams that the Queen City Roller Girls had. And then they had 4, and then they got rid of my team, which was the Nickel City Knockouts. So in my dream, I was at this reunion. And so I was one of the vets, and the Queen City Roller Girls are still happening, and it's amazing. And I actually retired from roller derby because of a bunch of injuries. I had permanent nerve damage and arthritis at the age of 27. And if I wanted to continue to live a long, happy life, kind of needed to maybe not put myself in a position where somebody could just knock my knees out from under me at any given second and I'd be kind of helpless to do it. I mean, there were situations, just a side note, there were situations where I had 3 women who were all much bigger than me on top of me. And I was literally in a position where like one was on my neck, one was here, one was here. And I literally, as soon as they got off me, I like somehow ended up just bouncing back up and skating away. Like, I cannot stress the importance of flexibility and yoga, people. Do it. It will literally save your life. Like, there's no other way to explain why I didn't come out of there with a broken neck or a concussion or a crushed rib or something. Like, I was in one of those like disfigured like positions, and I kind of just like Stretch Armstrong, like untangled myself, bounced up and skated away. I had lots of those experiences. So it was kind of time for me to like not put myself in those positions anymore. Played sports my whole life. And I mean, most professional athletes are kind of retired by that age anyway. So I'm like, okay, got it. Anyhow, so in my dream, I was going back to this like reunion. It was all good. And there was this girl, and okay, I'm going to tell you right now, like, I'm human. Flesh and bone. We all have our faults, no matter how saintly, no matter how zen, no matter how much personal development, no matter how much forgiveness we have, we're still human. And that includes a little bit of vanity. And there was this girl that was there, and clearly she was one of the newer girls in Derby, and totally fictional in my, oh, by the way, see what I did there? I did a thing. I did a thing right there. Take you in. Take you in. Take you in. Anybody old enough to catch that reference? Or am I just that old? Anywho, so she was just sitting there chatting very loudly about, good morning, Derek. In my dream, this girl was kind of plain, and I'm like, whatever. And she's clearly very chatty, very popular. And I'm like, oh, cool. It's one of the new cool, like popular girls, like me back in the day. Cool. And she's talking very loudly about what seems to be her boyfriend. And he's got the same name as a boyfriend I had. And she's talking about all of the, yes, E.T. Sorry, Christina, I didn't even read your message. Good morning, pretty lady. Today is a good day to have a great day. I love it. Yes. It's actually the original sign. I just put it somewhere because I was like, it should go somewhere other than just flashcard. Anyway, so in the dream, this girl's talking, and I'm starting to put together, she's with my ex dude. Like, whatever, he's my ex, and it's cool. And like I said, it's all love. But she's not as pretty as I am. She's probably not as good of a skater as I am. Like all that judgment, all that rah, started going on. And I was getting really kind of hurt, like all these old feelings. And the funny thing is the ex, the guy that was surfacing in my dream is actually an ex from like 2.5, 3 years ago. So it has nothing to do with roller derby, which was like, let's see. Oh gosh. I retired from roller derby in 2012. So however many years ago that was. 8 years ago? That's it? I felt like it was more. Anyway, nothing to do with each other, but you know how dreams work. And I was just getting really upset. I was mad. And so I just like skated off. So I woke up just angry, resentful feelings because like I got dumped and I was hurt. And I'm putting the two together, like missing derby, feeling, old, feeling untalented, feeling sorry about like my injuries from my car accident and not like doing all the things I used to do, and then being single and so I woke up kind of just like, and quarantine. Hooray. And I had to pee. And do you ever have that, especially ladies, maybe TMI, But you wake up, and even though you really have to pee, you'll be damned if you get out of that bed letting that dream end that way. Or you have to finish the dream because it's so good and you want to find out how it ends. And you're just like, no bladder, no. And you're just like, oh, I really have to pee, almost to where it hurts. And you're just like, no, I am laying in this bed and I am finishing this dream. So that was my morning. And got up, peed, and looked at my phone because this was before my alarm even went off. And it was 4:12, 4:15, and my alarm usually goes off at 4:30. Well, not usually. My alarm goes off at 4:30. And I'm like, well, nope, not doing it. Because I knew if I went back to bed, I would snooze my alarm. And by the time I would finally actually wake up in time to do the show, I would be in the middle of a REM cycle, not in a good mood, bad start to the day. Blech. When your body tells you it's time to wake up, first off, listen to it because it's already gone through the REM cycle. If you go back and humans try to put labels on things, just like we try to put shoulds on things. And you can do this, you can't do that. You should do this. You're shooting on this. You're shooting on that. You're shooting on something. You should do this. You shouldn't do that. We do that a lot. We should on each other all the time. And we put these like linear constructs. We put boxes on things and we package them up with pretty bows. And we're like, here, this is for you. Just because it looks cute doesn't mean it fits. Doesn't mean it's right. And so biologically, if your body's like, hey, up, out of bed, just go with it. Your body knows best. I'm no doctor, but also keep that in mind when it comes to doctors. Your body knows what's going on. Listen to it. And that actually taps into where I'm going. Your body is, and this is actually part and parcel to what Sammy Obeid was saying last night. Even though he was cracking jokes about it, he is a scientist and he did have some validity to his point, where our bodies are mostly water. And water is a conduit. Water is conductive. And if you guys have been watching, one of my readings when I was reading about the medicine card of frog being cleansing, I mentioned about how a lot of shamans would use water to help when they're healing. And where am I going with this? Hang on. And I've also talked about every single droplet of water being totally unique and individualistic, yet we all come together to form a pool. So water has been a unifying subject a lot, actually all of April for me, which is interesting because also April showers bring May flowers. I'm just realizing that now. Holy heck, okay, my theme this month clearly is water. Richie, that's my initials, REM, and also a really great new wave band. So let's see, I'm going on the fly here because I'm connecting. I already had some dots I was connecting, but now I'm connecting more dots. So water. So Sammy last night was saying, and if you haven't had a chance, go back and watch the replay. He's hilarious. Sammy Obeid from Netflix's 100 Humans was on live last night. It was really cool. So as a conduit, crap. Hang on. I'll get there. Give me a second. Body as a conduit. Good morning, Janae. Everything coming together. Maybe if I turn on my sound on my phone and see the lag on the video, I'll remember. Hang on. Nope. As a conduit. Crap. Hang on. Now give me a second. My video is caught up with where I'm blanking. My bad. Okay. That's all right. We are all connecting. You know what? I'm going to come back to that concept. If you know where I'm going with this, please message me because I totally lost my train of thought interacting with you guys. Yes, Richie, I have. Have I seen the images when you say I love you to water versus I hate you and all that's a beautiful thing, just saying I love you? Yes. And actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because one of my mentors just put out an email yesterday about the Apple experiment. Very similar thing. I forgot the scientist who's behind it, but it's an experiment, and you can do it too, with taking an apple, putting it in a sealed jar, slicing it in half, putting each half in its own separate sealed jar. One, you write the love jar, the hate jar, whatever resonates with you. And every time you pass by that jar, like, I love you, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you got this, you rock, amazingly, just lots of praise. And the other one, you disgust me, you're horrible, you're ugly, you're awful, you're never going to amount to anything, you are going to rot. And over the course of like a couple of weeks, she said that you can start to see the change within a week, but within the course of a couple of weeks, the change is drastic. And it's saying how intentions and words, things that I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks on here, really matter, and they make a difference. So it's very important to take a look at the things that you're saying to other people, and especially the things you're talking to yourself about. You know, you look at the people who are very happy, positive people, they tend to have this glow about them that people talk about, right? This inner glow. Well, it's not necessarily always from the caffeine. Like, guys, I've got green juice in here. I haven't had caffeine yet. And I am still circling back to why I'm in such a good mood. So I will get there, even though I totally forgot my tangent about water. Words are so powerful. They do matter. Thoughts are so powerful. They do matter. So it's so important to be conscious of the way you're thinking, the thoughts you're thinking, the words you're speaking. And if you're curious, go back and check out the previous episodes of Rise and Shine, because I talk a whole lot about that. I even give you some exercises. They are chunked mostly in the self-development unit here on TQN. I also have them all over on my page at Cassandra Renee, which is in the bio over here. And I've actually just started last night. I finally figured out how to download these videos and upload them to YouTube. So if you want to go ahead and subscribe over on my YouTube channel, I just started it, so it's brand new and it looks pathetic. But Cassandra Renee, you got to spell my name correctly to find me. But I can toss that link in the comments too. But if you go to Cassandra Renee on YouTube, you can follow me. The first episode is officially loaded. Which reminds me, if you like this and you like more of the interactive coaching, I'm doing a free webinar this Friday. I just need your email so I can send you the link. I'm going to send it Thursday, so you have it beforehand. It's going to be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So send me your email. You can DM me. You send me your email. That way it's not public in the comments. So DM me with your email so you can get in. And it's basically going to be a live coaching session with everybody. So any questions, anything you want to talk about, share concerns, anything, I'm here for you. Anyway, so why do I have so much energy now? Yes, I did all the things, but I wasn't going to. Like, I was going to go back and snooze. Oh, that's what it was. Your body knows the water. I'm kind of getting there. So I did all the things. I went through it anyway. And so often when you JDI, you just do it, right? Who knew Nike would have such an impact on my life? And I used to just loathe corporations. Anything big money, anything big. I was such a punk rock little rebel, like, screw you. You know what? Actually, is it on here? Yeah. This, if you can read the back of my shirt, this was my roller derby name, guys. Can you read that? BJ Armstrong. That's what I went by in roller derby. Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day is my hero. He's my, I called him my God back when I was agnostic and borderline. Well, I was atheist for a while. Totally not the case anymore. Very spiritual, actually. I was such a rebel. I was a little punk rock rebel. I'm just phasing out. I keep putting my lip ring in here and there because I'm not really totally sure I want to give it up just yet. But I keep popping in just to keep the hole open. But I'm like covered in tattoos. You can't really see because I look all nice and sweet. But like I definitely have my rebellious side. And so I was very anti-corporation and anti-anything. And I would... Man, I guess I do need that caffeine because I am like blanking here. Where was I going? My goodness. This is why I have these things. See, I'm going off the cuff completely today. This is why I have cue sheets. This is why hosts have cue sheets, because we get so excited about so many things and then we're like, squirrel. Rebel, rebellious, talking about corporate. Nike, just do it. Yeah. So who knew that Nike would actually have such a massive impact on my life? Because JDI, Just Do It, has helped me achieve and accomplish so many things that I just wasn't going to do. So JDI, got my butt up out of bed. Actually, as soon as I got up to pee after that just awful dream that I was stubborn, I was like, I know I have to pee. This dream, it's in the past. It's not even real. It doesn't matter. I'm over these feelings. Why am I laying in bed making myself feel like crap over stuff that I've resolved. I'm fine with this. My bladder's hurting. Just get up and go pee. And then, it's 15 minutes before your alarm's going to go off. I could have gone back to sleep. Nope. JDI, stay up. Didn't even get back out of bed. Tucked my dog in bed though. Let her stay and be warm under the covers. And then I just got right to it. And it was great because then I got to take extra time to meditate. I got to actually have my bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, which I was actually craving today, which is weird because it's like, oh, cardboard. But no, it was good. And I love my morning routine. And if you don't have a morning routine, if you do have a morning routine, I want to know what it is. So type it in because it's really good to share these things because everyone's kind of got their variants. And if you don't have one yet, it's a really great idea to learn what other people are doing. I researched for about 4 years on what some of the most successful morning routine or what the morning routines were of some of the most successful people in the world, what they did. And there are common themes and there are certain things that all of them do pretty much every day. And I just made a commitment to myself one day. I was just like, well, it might be BS, but I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being unhappy. It's worth a shot, right? So I started doing this stuff and psychosomatically, good morning, Katie. Psychosomatically, it started working little by little. And then often not so little by little, but like quantum leap, massive leap, all of a sudden, like, where did this random miracle come from? Like, that's amazing. And that's how life works when you start getting your thoughts, your words, and your actions aligned and drawing things to you. So the more I've gotten into this, and it started with business, being a better business person. Had you told me 5-6 years ago that I was doing personal development work, I think I mentioned this yesterday, I would have told you what to do with that development work, where to shove it, how far up to shove it, and all these other expletives. And now I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of that like hippie, punk rock, whatever, but with a little bit of class now. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard everything from punk rock chic, which was actually how I was defined. In LA, I actually hosted a TV show. You guys Bo actually might not even know this. I auditioned with Janice Dickinson, and she told the producers, you have to hire this girl. I will walk if you don't hire this girl. Janice Dickinson fought for me. And so she was a host on this TV show. Andy Dick was a host on this show, and I was a host on this show. And that was pretty cool. And just all these kind of like crazy miracles happen. And I just wanted to be a better business person. I just wanted to be in LA and be a model and I did not want to be an actress. I went to LA to work in the music industry because that's what my degree is in. And just if anything else happened, it happened. Whatever, cool. And had you told me that I was doing personal development work, I would have been like, you're cute. Yeah, whatever. Just pay me. And it started to seep in and it started working. And I just was like, you know what? There's something to this. Let's roll with it. And here I am today. And I'm just like doing this every morning and it's working. I'm leading meditations with you guys. And now I am doing it for a living. And it's amazing. I love it. Couldn't ask for a better way to live my life and make money. It's pretty great. By the way, there's a donation button over there if you feel so inclined. Anywho, so why am I feeling super awesome right now today? Well, yes, it's because of the physical activity I got, the endorphins I got from that. Yes, it's because the Honey Nut Cheerios I had were delicious and I got that little spike of sugar. And my green juice got a little zest and it's fun. No, there's nothing spiked in here. Although I did add MCT oil, which is great for the brain function. Clearly hasn't kicked in yet today. But it was from what I got in my meditation. Now, I've been working my way through this past weekend, my mentor's book. She just released it a month ago. It's a month old. It came out March 1st. It's called The Audacity to Be Queen. And I actually read a passage out of it the other day. And in it, she talks about, and it was a really cool thing because I never actually differentiated the two. So it was really cool to talk about how prayer and meditation are different, because I would kind of look at it as, okay, well, meditate if you're spiritual, pray if you're religious. And she says, and this is her own version, so take it as you will, but she says, well, prayer is my way of talking to spirit, placing my order, if you will, and meditation is my way of receiving. And I love that notion. And so since I got that distinction, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, because you cannot listen if you're talking. Just like clearly, I can't keep focusing on my train of thought if I'm also trying to interact with you guys, which is why there is the webinar on Friday where I can interact with you guys, and the live here where I've got something I would like to tell you, and then I can interact with you as I'm able. And so I'm like, yeah, okay. If we were, there's that saying, like, if we were intended to talk more than we listen, we would have two mouths and one ear, but we have two ears and one mouth. So we're supposed to listen more than we speak. And that doesn't only just go for us, but it goes for this too. So since I've been applying that, I've been able to receive, I call them downloads. And I've kind of had them my whole life, but once you open yourself up, just like if you're going through life like this, scarcity mindset, I gotta have this. I gotta have this. I gotta have this. I gotta have these things. Well, where are you going to open up? You want more money, but you're hoarding all the things. Where's the room for more money? Yeah, just put it here. Yeah, I got room. Give me. No. When you don't have an open heart, when you don't have an open hand, where's the room to receive? You have to have that open-mindedness to learn, that open-heartedness to love. If your heart is closed off, no one's going to be able to get in to love you. They can love you from afar, but you're not going to feel it. If you don't have any place to put the money's not going to come in. If your wallet is filled with receipts, a bunch of lint particles, and I don't know what the hell that is, where's the money going to come in? You're blocking your blessings. You're blocking things from coming in. So if you don't have a way, if you're constantly asking for guidance, but you're not listening, just like you're like in school, look at the kind of student you were in school. Was the teacher talking and you were gossiping with your friends, not listening? What kind of grades did you get? What are you doing for a living now? What were you doing for a living before quarantine? And that's not to be definitive or to talk smack or anything like that. Like life happens and life takes you in different directions. But when you open yourself up and say, all right, I'm going to listen. What do you got for me? For whatever your denomination is, religious, spiritual, agnostic, whatever the case is. If you're curious, and that's why I play with medicine cards. Actually, that got me more into spirituality than anything, because I was curious. I was just like, I went from saying, there's no God, there's no nothing, to, all right, I'll humor you. You want to tell stories about the Bible and stuff? I like Harry Potter. So for all of you people who are about to like turn this off, like I've gone the spectrum. I do not discriminate against any, because I've been through it. The only thing I haven't been was like indoctrinated in a religious like in it. That's the only thing I haven't been. So I'm not discriminating. I get it. I've been on the other sides. I'm at my happy medium and I'm accepting of all of it. And I say that to say that there's kind of something to it. Whatever it is, even if it's science, which I can back up a lot of what I'm saying with science. So when you ask for guidance, even if it's from a mentor, and you listen and you have a system, your input and output, right? Your fast food restaurant, you've got one place that you place the order and you've got one place that you pick it up, right? The Cosmic Cafe, I talked about that in one of my earlier videos. Just tell me what you want and I'll bring it. And so I've started this practice of right before I meditate, I have a prayer. And I used to think prayer was, dear God, bless, blah, 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 blah. And now I'm just like, no, it's what I make of it. So I say, dear universe, this is what's going on for me. This is my heart's desire. How can we make this happen? And then I go into my meditation. I have my mantra. And then I put on my binaural beats to help me get in a relaxed state of mind. I set my timer and I go. I clear my thoughts. I breathe. Sometimes I connect to source. I feel the light touch down. I do a body scan and I just wait. And sometimes images, scenarios will pop through. Well, this morning I got this awesome download. And this is what's made me so much happier and given me so much more energy than the exercise I had, than the bowl of Cheerios I had, than my green juice, than any of this. It's taken me 32 minutes to tell you all this. I got these 4 things in this order. Bless the world, forgive the world, receive the world. But first, love. I don't know about you, but that made me feel awesome. And I have lots of plans with that, which I am super excited to be sharing with you guys, especially everyone here on TQN. You guys are probably going to be some of the first to see the fruits of that labor. But even if I did nothing with that, just those 4 lines, how beautiful and powerful is that? And after I heard those, I immediately started interchanging them. It went from bless the world, forgive the world, receive the world to what was it? I went to like can I make this universal? I still work on the mother wound. Bless my mother, forgive my mother, receive my mother. Bless my ex, forgive my ex, receive. Well, no, I didn't say ex. I said bless, love, forgive love, receive love. Bless money, forgive money, receive money. How powerful is that? Now, I'm sure somewhere, and by all means, tell me in the comments, I'm sure there's some scripture version of this, some Buddhist version of this. I'm sure it exists somewhere. And it's possible that maybe I've even skimmed over it somewhere and it just didn't register to me and now it's been given to me. But it came in so clear in this meditation and it lit me up. And I hope when I go into meditation, 9 times out of 10, especially Monday through Friday, before I show up for you guys here on the Rise and Shine program, I straight up ask Source, how can I be of the highest service today? How can I best show up and serve you guys and provide answers or assistance? Help me be a vessel for what you guys most need to hear today. And so I hope that, I'm giving you guys something that you needed today. And by the way, I had other plans of things like I have plans of things to say to you guys today. This was totally off script, which, I mean, I go off the cuff a lot, but like this was totally off script of what I had planned to say to you guys today. So, but that was so powerful, so clear, and I'm super excited to get that out. Tell me what you think about it. I know there's a big leg, so I'm going to take a drink of this. I want to see in the comments right now. Tell me what you guys think about that. And ask me some questions. While you're typing, I am answering your messages here. Anybody? Any questions? If not, it is Transformational Tuesday. So the thought of the day is, who do you need to become to achieve the results you desire? So the first thing to know is, well, what are the results? The results. It's the second time I've done that. What are the results you desire? So maybe ask some of those. What are some of the things that you would like to have happen? So we can start from there. Hi, puppy. I even was able to feed and potty all of my pets this morning. Like, I was just like, bam. The only thing I wasn't able to do was put some splash on my face. One of these days I'll come back to you all prettied up, but it's nice to be all natural, and I miss my eyelashes. No questions right now? There are 12 of you watching. No one's got a question? I'm calling you out. Okay, well, with no questions, thank you, Richie. If there aren't any questions, I guess I'll go into what I was planning on talking to you guys about anyway. And if you do have any questions in the meantime, type them in, because I am here for you. I am holding space for you. So, picking up where we left off, this is a total change from where we've been. If you have journals, go ahead and grab them. I wanted to talk today. My brain's like, how do we seg into this? And I guess we don't. We just jump right in. We JDI, right? Just do it. Ways I criticize and blame myself and others. So part of being in this quarantine, part of the blessing and the gift is that we have more time. I saw a meme yesterday where a guy's just like, and the meme was, oh, great. Or what do I do tomorrow? Oh, great. More time alone with my thoughts and feelings. And I mean, it was sarcastic, but yeah, like most of us don't ever get this much time. Take it as a blessing. Take it as the time. I mean, that's why you guys are watching me, I'm assuming. As like, this is the time that you get to be introspective and to reflect and actually start making those shifts, to come out of here stronger with a different perspective, with new tools and abilities to hit the ground running, not even not even after we come out of this, but beforehand, right? So part of the way that you can really start shifting and making radical change is being aware of the thoughts you're thinking, the words you're saying, the actions you're taking, your habits, and all the natter, the negative chatter, the internal shit talk. So another tool that I've used is keeping track of the ways you criticize, which is a little bit different from keeping track of the crap you talk about yourself. For those of you who have been following along, you should have a decently comprehensive list if you've been doing it for like a week straight, or even just a day, of like a diary of natter throughout the day. And if you need the additional discipline, you can actually set a timer on your phone for, as depending on how detailed you want to get, every 15 minutes, every hour, throughout the day. And just when it goes off, like write down whatever thoughts you've had in the past since the last alarm went off, like whatnot. So this is a little bit different because that's just kind of like, that's like in general, like all just the negativity you've had. This is more specific about how you're being judgy. So good morning, Elle. For example, this often has a lot to do with backhanded compliments. I actually caught myself doing this yesterday, and I haven't done it in a long time. And I was surprised, like that's how I caught myself, because I was surprised when I did it. I went to, that's what it was. I had this family-sized lasagna that I had popped in the toaster oven to reheat, and I had I had tin foil over it so that I wouldn't, I had tin foil over it because I ran out of, and I also don't support plastic wrap anymore because of the plastic and BPAs and toxins and all that junk. You're fine, Elle. One of the other things, tangent, you're never late. Now, this could just be my own. I have always had issues with time, which clearly just meant I was supposed to be an entrepreneur. I was never meant to run on other people's time. Justify as you will. You're never late. You're always right on time. Everything happens in divine timing. So everything happens for you, not to you. So you're never late. You show up when you're meant to. Anywho, so you're good, babe. So I was taking it out of the toaster oven, and cut myself a slice and put it on my plate. And then I just went to readjust and put the tin foil like back on because there was still lasagna left. And I was readjusting it while it was still kind of like on the tray halfway in the toaster oven. And I'm realizing that my fingers are like right here, like as I'm doing this, about to hit the top and get burned. And I'm just like, you dummy. And as soon as and I didn't even say that out loud, like internally, I'm like, you dummy, don't do that. You're going to burn your fingers. And as soon as I said that, I immediately actually, one of the sheets from my thoughts, words, actions, no, not that one. It literally just popped, it flashed in my head immediately. Whose thoughts, words am I thinking or speaking? And as soon as I was like, don't do that, you dummy, I saw my mom's face, my mother, don't do that, you dummy. Does this serve me? No. I mean, the don't do that, yeah, because don't burn your hand. But does it serve me? No, because you called me a dummy and that scars me, and now I think I'm stupid. This sheet, very useful. Want it? Message me and we'll talk about my 90-day program. Lots more help where this came from. Anywho, like I literally, and it shocks me because I'm like, I have not had one of these like criticizing moments in a very long time. But that just goes to show you, again, human, flawed, have these moments. And it's just kind of like, it's like what we used to call in high school, gravity check. I used to be kind of klutzy. I was a ballerina, dancer, roller skater. You put me in dance shoes and roller skates and high heels. I am graceful. You put me in sneakers or flats, I will fall on my face. I will trip over nothing. And apparently that's kind of a thing when you're a teenager in general, I guess. We're just awkward and klutzy. And parents, please keep me honest here. I guess it's a thing. Anyway, especially in drama club, we would joke around about that. If somebody would just trip or whatever, our thing would be gravity check. I think we would say that in roller derby too, now that I'm thinking about it. Just kind of the passive way to like brush off. I didn't trip. I'm graceful. Whatever. Gravity check. So yeah. So so I had that moment and I'm just like, wow. Yeah, human check, reality. Like still have, still human, still kind of do these things. All right. And it was one of those moments where I realized I'm criticizing myself for being human. Like, yeah, okay. Like, obviously, like, hey, don't do that would have been a much more diplomatic, loving way. Well, that's not even loving. But it's not loving either. It's just a directive. Don't do that. You'll burn your hands or you increase the likelihood of burning your fingers versus, hey, dummy, don't do that. Like, why the name calling? Why? Like, yes, there's joking around, but especially when it comes from a parent or a source of authority, maybe there's nicer, funnier ways more loving ways to say it. And especially when it's said all the time, parents might wanna work on that a little bit. Your kid might still take it as funny, but comma does damage. It's like a surface stain on a carpet. You can wipe it off, but it doesn't mean it didn't seep down and stain underneath. And if it keeps doing that for a long time, you can keep wiping it off, but eventually there's probably a pretty deep, smelly stain down below. You can't see it. They probably don't even know it's there until they reach their like quarter life crisis, mid-30s. And they're like, why am I this way? Oh, yeah. So that's why we, start thinking about the way you think, say things. Yeah, it's useful. So that came up for me because it was the way my mom tried to bond with me when she realized all right, being a parent's not really working. Maybe I'll try being her friend. Oh, that's having much better results. Okay, so we're like the parent friend, the friend parent. Cool, that works. And then the kid starts adopting that way of internal dialogue and jokes around with their friends like that. Like how many times do you joke around with your friends in that kind of manner? Or you see your if you're a parent, you see your teens joking around like that. And that's why you see young girls like, what's up, bitch? Ah, I still don't like that. Ugh. Hopefully parents aren't calling their daughters bitches. But you know what I'm saying? Like in my group of friends was like, hey, dummy. It was a little bit less harsh, less grating. You get the concept. Anyway, so like think of ways, like that was something like that popped up for me last night. Like backhanded ones are massive in this space. I finally do something right. That's a big one. Whether you say it out loud or not. Most often, these are internal. Like I brought up yesterday in the midday mindset, so many times we will be more available to keep ourselves uncomfortable when someone has made us uncomfortable. We'd rather stay uncomfortable than be more uncomfortable telling them they've made us uncomfortable. So in the same way, we'd rather just criticize internally others and ourselves. Unless you're of the diversion kind, the bossy, the outgoing, the in charge extrovert who is maybe the perfectionist who just, I'm doing it for your own good. Maybe like, you're finally getting the grades you should have been all along. Maybe just congrats on the good grades. I knew you had it in you. Much better delivery. You see the difference? You should have done this. Whether you're saying you to another human or you should have done that, Cass. You should have done that. Or I should have done this. I shouldn't have done that. I grew up should on my whole life. When I would get picked on, so keep in mind, I grew up thinking subconsciously, because consciously I thought I was awesome. The proof was in the pudding. Everything I did, I excelled at. Almost effortlessly. But I thought I had to put in the effort because it was subconsciously programmed in me as a toddler that I was never going to be good enough for my mom. So no matter how I tried, it was never going to be good enough. But I had just enough love and encouragement from my grandmother who lived next door to me to try anyway. Because maybe if I can't get the love from my mom, I might be able to find it elsewhere. I might get the approval somewhere else. And I did. And I constantly found the approval elsewhere, but it wasn't filling the hole, which was the hole from the love from my mother. And so I kept trying and kept trying and kept trying. And I was blocking myself from receiving because I had already cut myself off from the possibility of receiving the love because nothing was ever going to be good enough to receive it. And so I couldn't make friends. So I thought, which wasn't true. I had some friends, which my very first friend in the entire world when I was 3 years old is still my best friend to this day. Thank God. And she I would get into all these. I was very misunderstood because I didn't understand myself. Anyway, I would get picked on a lot. I would come home from school crying almost every day from elementary school all the way up through graduation. And I would come home crying. My mom would ask me what was wrong. and I would tell her. She would listen. She wouldn't put her arm around me. She would hear me out. And then she would say, well, you should have done this. Or, well, why'd you do that? You shouldn't have said that. You should have done that. I was given directives. She never put her arm around me. She never hugged me. She never said it's okay. She never validated my feelings. She always tried, and in her mind, she thought she was doing what was right. And she had her own things to figure out, so I forgive her because she did what she could with what she knew. But I was should on my whole life, and that's what shoulding does. Now, this is an extreme example because I'm relatively certain that most of you, from what you received and what you are doing, was a little more gray than the black and white I received. But I'm saying this for your benefit to, I was basically given instructions on how to be, and then I wasn't. Like, I was just being reinforced that I wasn't good enough. I was should on forever. And when you have that reinforced, whether by external forces or internal, which of course that turned into internal shoulding, right? I should work harder. That's not good enough. And then I would come off of like, I'd score 3 goals in a soccer game. We'd win. She'd come up and congratulate me. And I'm like, yeah, well, I missed that pass and I didn't do good enough. And like, we'd get into a fight after the soccer game and I'd be like, I'm walking home. She's like, oh, get in the car. I'll give you a ride home. I'm like, no. Like, and she'd wonder why I didn't want to, like, why I was beating myself up. Because even though she was giving me praise, I was shooting on myself inside. So think about, write down, like really look into the ways you're shooting on yourself. And worse, well, no, that's worse, shooting on yourself, because how you treat yourself is how you're going to treat others. But yeah, so really write down how you're shooting on yourself and shooting on others. And yes, there's a reason it sounds like you're shitting on people. Because they're both bad. They both stink. Yes, L, should haves are pointless. They are, yes, they're in the past. Exactly. There's nothing. Yes, there is validity in learning from the past. Totally. But it's like Rafiki said, oh my gosh, The Lion King? Yeah, it traumatized a lot of kids. I was in 4th grade when that movie came out. The Lion King is a whole other story that we don't have time for in 2 minutes. But when Rafiki smacks Simba on the head and he's like, ow, what'd you do that for? He smacks him on the head with a staff and he's like, it doesn't matter. It's in the past. It's kind of messed up. Actually, there's a lot in that movie that's really messed up. Parents, we can talk offline about this if you really want to hear my opinions on Disney. I have Stockholm syndrome with Disney, like you wouldn't believe. Totally different topic. We can talk about that in another episode if you. No, we won't talk about it in another TQN episode, but we can talk about that offline if you like. Total Stockholm syndrome with that. Definite love-hate relationship with Disney. But it's a messed up way of showing it, but it's a good point. It's in the past. And like I said yesterday, is there something I can change about it? Yeah? Change it. Do it. Go for it. Make a change. No? Breathe it and let it go. Breathe and flick, right? So that is my time for today. Make that list, and then I want to hear your feedback. I want to know how that list was for you, what came up for you. This isn't just a show, guys. This is what I do. This is what I do in real life. It's real life, guys. So I want to know, you can respond back to this video. I check it. And also, even better, send me a message. You can either DM me or email me directly, wildblossombeacon@yahoo.com. If you can't remember that, my website is in the comments. You can go there. You can message me directly through the website. And we've got something really, really cool and exciting coming up for you guys this afternoon. My midday mindset has actually been changed. It's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've moved the time slot up a little bit later. We're switching up a couple of things because we've got some really neat, exciting things coming on. So stay tuned. It's not at 11:05 Pacific Standard Time today. It's actually at 12:15 Pacific Standard Time. So that's 3:15 East Coasters time. And stick around because it's going to be a 15-minute segment with me doing the midday mindset shift. And then we're going to do something really awesome. I'm going to have a guest on at 12:30, so 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to shake things up. We're going to do something really fun. I'm really excited. I can't wait to show you. And it's going to be really beneficial for the whole community. So I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, cough in your elbow, wash your hands, and stay the home. Love you. Bye.